Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about what you are so done with and where you are at currently, like your current situation. And this was a huge step for me in my journey. And I know it's going to be the next big step for you as well. And part of your brain, like right now, you might be thinking, oh, I don't need to go into this. I don't need to listen to this. I know what I'm done with. I know what my daily struggles are. I know what I am just fed up with. I realize what I'm dealing with every day. I know where I'm at. Yes, but we need to go a little bit deeper and get a little more specific here. So do not clock out. This is where a lot of women clock out. They will say, like, oh, I don't need to listen to this, or oh, this is too simple for my, like, this is too simple. And your brain wants you to think that because we are staring in the face your biggest issues right now. And your brain doesn't like to do that. Your brain gets a little uncomfortable for those things. It's your ego. And, sometimes it comes up with other ideas or starts to skew things. And that's when I start to say, like, that's your inner demon, right? Some people call it the ego. Some people, say that it is, safety mechanisms popping up and all of these things. And so, yes, those things do come up, but we do need to face this head on because this is the next part of your journey. If you are actually considering leaving teaching, leaving your current job, leaving behind what you have been doing for who knows how long, could be 3 years, could be 5, could be 9 like me, could be longer, and start something new, like working from home, which is completely possible. Like that's what I talked about in the last video. But this is that next big mental hurdle that we have to get past, right? So we're going to talk about what you are so done with. And you're not just here to build a business for the sake of it. You are here to build a business that works for your life. You really cannot move forward if you don't know where you are starting. You need to think about where you currently are, where you have been, and why that makes a huge difference in what you're going to build next. And today I want you to think about the external side first. The stuff that feels out of your control, the things that you are so done with. So think about where you're working right now. What does that normal day look like for you? What are you dealing with that makes you want to research career changes at night and scroll work from home TikToks on your lunch break? What are those things that are just pulling you to make these sort of decisions and do these things day to day? There's a reason you keep looking for work for home options. There's a reason that you're listening to this right now. And you don't have to say this out loud to anyone, but I want you to be honest with yourself. What are some things you are currently dealing with in your day-to-day life that you are so done with, that they make you want to change absolutely everything? Because let's not, paint this lightly. Making a decision like this can be huge. It does not need to be an overnight decision where you're like, okay, I have to resign and start this business all in one go. It doesn't have to be like that. But taking on something like this, taking on a journey like this is a big step because not a lot of people do that. And in the next video, we're going to talk about why not a lot of people do that, because there's a reason for that too. But when we think about what we're so done with, there's a really important reason behind this. For me, I was done with coming home, being a zombie. And that to me was all based off of having to be at work for so long, having to use all my energy at work, and just trying to be the best teacher, right? I am not someone who half-asses anything. I am someone who goes full on. And I've always loved teaching, right? It filled my cup. It was something that I truly enjoyed and I took pride in. And so I wasn't just going to go there and coast because those kids were important to me. And, in my heart, those same kids are still important to me. I still think about them sometimes, right? And so I wasn't going to do them a disservice by half-assing my work. And so I was going to be the best that I could be while I was there. But I also have my babies at home, and I was realizing even with this, work-life balance I was trying to make, I was coming home as a zombie no energy for my own kids. Like, I could not even sit down and read Brown Bear, Brown Bear to my 3-year-old. I did not have the mental or what felt like physical energy for that. I was breastfeeding my 3-month-old. Caffeine was not something that was in my diet at that point, or it was very minimal, right? And I was just struggling with all of this. And another thing that I knew I was so done with is not being able to put my kids down to bed. There are some days where, you have conferences, you have open house, you have meet the teacher, and those kind of things, not available to put them down for bed at night because I was getting home too late for that. Another thing is I wasn't the one to wake them up in the morning sometimes because I had to get to work before my babies would wake up, and there's no way I'm waking them up if they don't have to be woken up yet. Another thing is someone else was raising my kids during the day. That was a non-negotiable for me because I felt such a tug in my heart once I had my children. It felt so wrong to have somebody else raising my kids throughout the day. And then I got to see them for a couple hours in the evening before they went to bed. And then, I had the weekends. Like, what kind of life is that? That did not feel fulfilling to me, right? So those were some really non-negotiables for me. Those were the things that I was so done with. And this matters because if you don't get honest about what you are saying goodbye to, you will accidentally recreate it. You'll end up in the same situation, but just in a different environment. I was looking for work for home options, right? And I was looking at, Indeed and all of these places I could apply to, but it was still going to lead me back to that same problem. It just looked a little different, right? Instead of teaching children all day and having that stress, it was, I still had to be logged in on my computer. My computer could just be in my house, right? I still had to be clocked in at a certain time, and I couldn't clock out until a certain time. I still had to ask for paid time off. My mouse still had to move, frequently enough, or else they thought I wasn't working. Like, there are so many different things where I was still micromanaged and my schedule still wasn't as flexible as I wanted it to be. And I still hear about this from other moms that are in my neighborhood as well. They have the luxury, right, of working from home, but they talk about it at the bus stop. They're like, yeah, I had to log into my meeting before I came down here. I wasn't even able to actually get ready yet for the day. So I have to, go home and I have to be on camera for this meeting. I have to have my camera on, and, I don't have anything done yet because I was getting the kids ready for school. And it's like, yeah, that does suck. I don't have anything to add to that for me personally because I'm like, well, I don't have to do that. I don't have to get on a video call if I don't want to. I don't have to, have any meetings if I don't want to. And I get to work, in my leggings all day and not feel weird about it because no one has to see me, right? I get to work from my phone for most of the day. And I have painted this life for me. I have set this up for myself, right? Because I knew what my non-negotiables were. So you're not trying to just make money. You're trying to stop living a life that drains you. And that is important information for you and for your business. So if you have a few minutes today, I want you to either jot down or just think through a list of I am so done with blank. It can be simple. I'm done with crying in the car before work. Think about what causes you to cry in the car before work. Like, what is that about? I'm done with missing bedtime. I'm done feeling like a bad mom, a bad teacher at the same time. Like, where is that coming from? Why is that happening? Is it because you have these, this criteria to meet from somebody else? Is that why you feel like you're not good at your job? Because that's part of why I didn't feel like I was good at my job. And now the criteria that I have to meet, it's my own criteria. I set the rules. I set the standards. So those are some things to be thinking about. In the next audio, we're going to flip this and talk about what you want instead and why your brain has just been fighting you on